I'm standing in a sweet potato field in Greene County, North Carolina. It's North Carolina's smallest county, but per acre it probably grows more sweet potatoes than anywhere else in the United States. We speak with the major players in the industry and learn what makes North Carolina sweet potatoes so popular nationwide. Next on North Carolina Now.
Quality public television is made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
I'm Kelly McCullen. Thank you so much for watching North Carolina Now. I am in eastern North Carolina, just outside the town of Snow Hill, where it's a hotbed for sweet potato growing and harvesting. And as the world becomes more globalized, it's becoming apparent that sweet potato popularity is growing as well. And you can bet that potatoes grown right here in our Tar Heel soil are being used in products around the world. Eastern North Carolina sweet potatoes reflect both modern agribusiness growth and old-time farming tradition. A sweet potato's journey begins beneath your feet in the ground.
Start off with the sweet potato field. As you know, it's a vine, so all the root set, which is all the sweet potatoes underground. We have a 4-row flip plow. Comes through, plows the potatoes up.
Sweet potatoes are more delicate than you may think. Tractors can bring them up, but it's human hands that are the most important harvesting tool.
Crews will come through here, harvest by hand, separate out restaurant quality from processing quality. Those are put in the bins, and we haul those to the warehouse where they're then further graded.
A sweet potato's skin is very easily damaged when the potato is first harvested. Sweet potatoes need about a week or so of curing under perfect conditions to be ready for further handling.
When it comes straight out of the field, the skin is loose on the potato. So by going in the curing room, it tightens the skin, and after it comes out of the curing room, the sugar levels and starches rise in the potato.
The sweet potatoes leave the curing room sweeter in flavor inside and more durable on the outside. At Ham Produce Company near Snow Hill, the warehouse is kept dark and cool during harvest season.
The sunlight actually makes the potatoes sprout faster, and so we try to keep it as dark as possible so that they will not sprout in the storage process.
When it's time for processing, the sweet potatoes are ready for a bath.
Wood bins are brought out of the curing rooms. They're brought back here to the back of the machine where you see the dump tank. They're dumped into the dump tank to get their initial wash and cleaning because, of course, coming out of the field, the potatoes are dirty.
The potatoes are washed in a high-pressure system to remove all the dirt and grime. They are then sprayed with a fungicide and given an initial quality inspection.
After it comes through the high-pressure system, we have another long table where it's full of employees on each side, making sure that there's no potato that cannot go in a commercial box or a 40-pound box that we sell to a customer.
Any foreign debris from the field, inedible sweet potatoes, and anything else non-sweet potato is removed.
So our ultimate goal is to have anything that should not be in a box out before it reaches the breaking point where the wall is right here behind us.
The sweet potatoes leave the washing area and enter a large custom sorting machine. Ham Produce Company uses special cameras that eye every sweet potato.
Now, the cameras are capable of grading the potatoes based on size, color, any defects that might be on the potato, shape, length, diameter, and it measures that, and then it gives a good guess of the weight.
The grading system sends the sweet potatoes to the appropriate boxes based on the exact order desired by customers. And while new technology makes sweet potato processing easier these days, Ham Produce relies on a human touch to ensure bad potatoes don't slip through while great potatoes are accidentally rejected.
Machinery is great. We've got some of the best technology, the best cameras, the best packing equipment we can, but there's always room for machine error. And we've got great people that are actually looking at the potato, and if one slips by, they can pick it out, because we want to provide the best potato and the best service to our customer with the best quality of potato that we can.
So every sweet potato passes a computer and human inspection before packaging. But the packed boxes are also checked for quality before loading on the trucks.
So they'll check the weight of the box, the ounces, the size of the potatoes, make sure that the quality is great. If there's a problem, they let our packing line manager know that there's a problem so that he can make the appropriate changes.
Bobby Ham owns Ham Produce Company, and many of the sweet potatoes that come out of his facilities come out of his fields, and they bear his name. Bobby Ham is not just a big name in eastern North Carolina farming, he's a big name throughout America when it comes to sweet potatoes. I have to admit that all this snuck up on me because Greene County is one of the smallest, if not the smallest county in North Carolina. How did you do all this?
I love farming. I love growing things. I love providing it to the public, and especially a good healthy product like sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are number one vegetables in far as health foods, and it gives us great pleasure to do that. So.
What's the scope of sweet potatoes as an industry in eastern North Carolina?
North Carolina grows approximately 42 to 43% of the U.S. production. And sweet potato production has been increasing fairly rapid throughout the United States due to fries. Sweet potato fries has become very popular in fast food and becoming more so every day. And our acreage is growing and the visibility is growing due to that.
Of that 42 to 45% of American production, how much goes through your company's hands collectively, you think?
Well, we package in the neighborhood around 16,000 acres a year here in North Carolina. And I think 2010 there was around 53,000 acres in North Carolina. And so we handle a fairly significant part of the state's crop.
What is it about sweet potatoes that people just hang? It's an old crop. You know, I remember my grandma and grandfather used to like sweet potatoes. I wasn't especially fond of them, but now they're cool. What happened?
Well, it's all the nutritional value. Sweet potatoes have a lot of beta-carotene. They have a lot of your essential vitamins, and it's been rated by most food magazines as one of the top 4 or 5 foods for health benefits. And that's what we do with our processing facilities here in our farming operation. We try to provide the consumer a very clean, very healthy type product that they can get good value out of their nutrition.
And sweet potatoes grow very well in eastern North Carolina.
Eastern North Carolina is very well oriented. It's grown all over the United States, but I think the soil and the conditioning here in North Carolina provides the best way to store, maintain them on a 12-month basis, and that's what we do. We have 12-month facilities. We have a lot of storage facilities. Our cool temperatures at harvest allows us to keep them under a very environmentally friendly arrangement for storage. So in other parts of the country, they have to do a lot more air conditioning, a lot more heaters and different things. So,
what regions are hot on sweet potatoes right now? Of course, the South's always been a sweet potato place to, you'd find on the menus, but where else is growing?
I'm telling you, sweet potatoes being consumed all over this country. Europe has actually grown rapidly in sweet potato production. 7 or 8 years ago, it was probably less than 1% of the people that went in a grocery store ever bought a sweet potato, and now I think it's up to 17 to 20% of the people going in are actually consuming sweet potatoes in Europe, and that speaks well for North Carolina because they are one of our bigger markets too. Here, a lot of potatoes out of North Carolina go overseas.
Where do you see the industry going in the next 20 years from where it's been the past 150?
Well, many years ago, in the colonial days, sweet potato consumption was almost as high as white potatoes. And I really think we have the potential of reaching somewhere near those levels, which would be a lot higher than we are now. We're just a small proportion of the total potato consumption. But sweet potato is a very, very healthy food. And as we're able to provide it to the consumer at a very economical price, I think it will be more heavily consumed. I think pricing has a lot to do with it right now. Sweet potato is a little more expensive to grow and costs a little more than what it does with a white potato. But white potatoes are more friendly to mechanical harvest than what sweet potatoes are. There's a lot of manual labor that goes into a sweet potato and the production of it.
Bobby, thanks for having us out. Yep. Pleasure speaking with you, getting your expertise on this fine food you've got here.
Yeah. And thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoyed your visit with us.
Eastern North Carolina's sweet potato industry includes much more than harvesting and processing raw sweet potatoes. Snow Hill's Yamco takes sweet potatoes from the processing plant to puree.
Purees, especially the sweet potato puree, is what you would refer to as a functional food. It allows a end use of either a standalone, it works as a replacement whereby you can replace certain ingredients with it. You can use it as an extender whereby you can just add it and extend the amount of product that you're having. And then it's a fortifier, it adds nutrition.
Sweet potato puree has as many uses as you might imagine.
We sell our purees in the baking industry, we sell them in the beverage industry, we sell them in the snack food industry, we sell them in the baby food industry.
Yamco's leaders say they have a unique way of pasteurizing sweet potato puree using microwave technology. Precise temperatures make Yamco purees safe for storage while preserving the puree's color and nutritional value. Yamco says their technique gives them an advantage.
In other industries, when you pasteurize for a long time, it starts losing color after a time. And the way that it's pasteurized, you lose a lot of nutrition because excess heat that you have to apply. With us, we maintain our temperature and our heat precisely for a minimum amount of time possible, and we keep our nutrition at the highest level possible.
Yamco's exact process is a corporate secret, but the ingredient is not sweet potatoes.
First of all, we receive, and they're always clean, pre-cleaned when they get here. We put them through our process where we have a visual manual inspection, make sure any debris or foreign matter or any rot that may be present is pulled out. We run through a peeler, then we run through a secondary inspections table just to verify that they're peeled, and again, no rot or imperfections or anything that would give an off color or flavor to our product is removed.
The sweet potatoes are peeled, inspected again, then chopped up for cooking. Unlike sweet potatoes you find on the store shelves with perfect sizes and great looks, a pureed sweet potato doesn't need to be pretty, just tasty.
It's all about flavor, it's all about fully cured sweet potatoes. Our line, a puree doesn't care if you're a big potato, a small potato, a crooked or a straight, okay? Whatever, a sweet potato is a sweet potato. If you were to peel a sweet potato and dice it up and boil it up, it doesn't matter what it looked like to start out with, as long as it was fully cured.
Yamco executives say their business is growing and that Eastern North Carolina sweet potatoes would fuel any future expansion.
One of our owners is only a mile down the road. If we need product, it's here within seconds. And we can keep running 24 hours a day and maintain operation, and we can build the clientele. And the longer that we run here, the bigger we can build the facility and the more job opportunity we can create.
If puree demand keeps rising, Yamco says it has capacity and access to sweet potatoes. Since those potatoes are locally grown, the harvest and processing supports existing jobs and will create new local jobs.
We have right around 50 employees. And with the way that we're producing now, we're going to double that within no time. And that's going to increase Snow Hill's workforce. And not only that, we'll bring people from other counties in. So now our name's going to get out. People's going to be driving to Snow Hill to work instead of from Snow Hill to other places to work.
Since we're talking about food, let's go to the kitchen with award-winning baker Jan Matthews Hodges and a great sweet potato cornbread recipe.
Making a great sweet potato cornbread today. We're going to add some North Carolina yams to our cornbread mix. Now this is a self-rising cornbread mix. Be very careful when you're choosing your cornbread mixes. There are regular and it's self-rising. So we've got self-rising yellow, not white. This is yellow, it's just merely preference. We're going to add this cornbread mix to our mixing bowl. And to that, we're going to add a 1/4 cup sugar. And we're going to whisk it in with a tablespoon of cinnamon. And we're going to be generous with our cinnamon. Cinnamon is so key to the bringing out the sweet potato flavor. And we're just mixing it and incorporating it around so that it goes all throughout the cornbread. Now, the next ingredient we're going to add is 2 eggs, and we'll lightly beat the eggs so that they incorporate into the sweet potato mix. So we'll add our 2 eggs, and again, we're going to whisk it and get it blended in to a lumpy, semi-dry mix. So we've got the dry mix going here, and we're going to get it off of the whisk and work with it a little bit to incorporate the egg all the way through, because you want it to rise evenly and be a beautiful cake of cornbread, just like a grandma made. So we have that ready, and we're going to add our beautiful yams to the mixture. And these have been pureed. Very simple, still just using one bowl. We're going to incorporate that in. Exactly what we want to do is to have these lumps of beautiful sweet potato in the mix. And we'll take our spatula and we're going to incorporate all the way down to the bottom. Bring up all your dry ingredients. It's going to mix much easier. We'll clean off our spatula. Now that we've got this nice dry mixture going, we're going to start to add our milk, and we're going to incorporate it in halves. So let's get half of the milk in there, and then let's just stir it around, get all the dry ingredients out, and see how beautiful that's starting to become. And we're mixing it in really well. And our final milk added to the sweet potato mixture. And there we go. We want it nice and smooth, so we're going to take just a few minutes to gently incorporate the milk into the sweet potato. See how pretty that is? And there we have it, a nice cornbread batter, and that will start to absorb all of the cornbread mixture and all of the beautiful yams. And so we're going to put this mixture into our old frying pan. Maybe you've got one that was handed down from your grandmother. So beautiful and such a great way to cook cornbread. It's going to give you just this neatest dark brown crust, and that's what you're looking for. And we've seasoned our pan with oil. You could use shortening, and it's all ready for the mixture to be added and to start to bake that cornbread in the old skillet. And so we'll just pour it all in. Nice smooth batter. Perfect. And so now we're going to go to the oven with our skillet of beautiful cornbread mix. And we've got a 350-degree oven. And we're going to place the skillet in the oven. And here we have one that's already ready, and it's ready to serve to your family. Here's our beautiful sweet potato cornbread ready to enjoy with your family.
Sweet potatoes are helping families get through some tough economic times. Producer Donna Campbell met the volunteers of the Society of St. Andrew. These folks glean fields throughout North Carolina for fresh vegetables that somehow miss being harvested. The sweet potato fields are a prime destination during harvest season. The Society calls it the Yam Jam.
Got a lot of flavor, keep you leading me. You really gonna love a whole lot. Just listen to what they've got.
North Carolina is the #1 producer for sweet potatoes, and every year in the first couple of weeks of October on a Saturday, we have 700 to 800 people come out to glean sweet potatoes. We have a 35-acre field that a farmer has donated. He's already harvested the field, got all the potatoes he wants, and so we've got people out here working very diligently to make sure that we fill pickup trucks that are going to local feeding agencies, and we're going to fill them all up and send them on so that people tonight will be eating fresh sweet potatoes that they couldn't afford to get on their own. We have people from scout troops, we have families, we have church groups.
There are people from all over the state, many different denominations, many different organizations. They all come together once a year to glean the fields.
It brings everything together. First of all, a lot of kids nowadays don't know even where the potatoes come from. They think you go down to your local grocery store and buy them, and that's where your food comes from. So for them to be able to see them, be out and harvest them, and then even some of them are involved in taking it to the feeding agencies, so it helps raise awareness for our children that there are people that are needy and that they should do something to help them, and they're spending a day out playing in the dirt.
If you mind getting dirty, you're in the wrong place. It's a value that we need to teach the kids nowadays. You know, we need them to know where the food comes from, for them to be able to go to the field and see that it doesn't grow at food line. You know, it's really a good thing for them. I think that they really whenever they get back to the table and they're eating whatever it is they've gleaned, it's even better to them.
Teaches them at an early age the idea of missions and seeing the needs that our communities have. Last year it was pretty hard on the agencies. I think the demands are going to be greater. I think there's still possibilities with farmers opening up their hearts to not let the food rot in the ground and let volunteers come out and glean the fields. The potatoes that we received today will feed so many people.
Last year in North Carolina, we saved about 5 million pounds of produce. We've had a lot more demand because the price of fresh produce just keeps going up, and the number of people that don't get enough to eat in North Carolina keeps going up. There's about 1.7 million people that don't get enough to eat every day. And so we just are trying to add a little bit to the canned food, the packaged food that they get so that they can have fresh produce. So this could be on people's tables tonight.
I've been homeless before by choice. As a teenager, I stayed with a few of the homeless people. We lived in a car. And when you don't know where your next meal is coming from, then you look at it a different way.
We have people that are sacrificing their time and their energy and nice, beautiful Saturday mornings to come out and say, well, what little bit can I do to make a difference?
Let's head back to the kitchen where Jan Matthews Hodges has a wonderful sweet potato pancake recipe.
We're going to use North Carolina sweet potatoes in our pancake mix, just regular pancake mix, instant mix that you buy from the market. And to that instant 2 cups of mix, we're going to add a 1/4 cup sugar. And so what we're going to do is whisk the sugar in very evenly along with our teaspoon of really good cinnamon. So let's get the cinnamon and the sugar all whisked in our beautiful pancake dry batter. Okay, so we've got the pureed sweet potato, and we're going to use about 3/4 cup. We're just going to put it in the batter, and we're going to incorporate it really well. So we'll start by mixing it with our spatula. This is going to take me a couple of minutes to really incorporate the sweet potato into the dry mix. And there we have a lumpy mix, which is exactly what we're looking for. The water's going to mix in with it so much more nicely. And we're going to take the spatula and we're going to reach down really the bottom of the bowl and make sure it's all up. And we have a cup of water, and we're just going to pour it over. We'll pour about half of it, and we'll mix it, get it all mixed in. The kids will be down to have their pancakes when they smell that. And there we add the remainder of the water because we have it all nice and smooth. And so we'll gently stir. Over stirring will give you a tough pancake batter. Have you ever made a rubbery pancake? That was from stirring too much. So there we go. We're getting very close. Now we have heated up the pan to about medium, between medium and medium high. And that's what we want to have when we go to check our skillet. So here we are, a gorgeous pancake batter ready to go into the skillet. Lumpy, and lumpy's good. We've got nice little bits of sweet potato in it. And so what we'll do is go try out the skillet. Now it's really important to check the skillet for the heat. And if you can hold your hand for more than a few seconds, 2 inches above the skillet, then it's too hot. And I always like to have our pancakes the same size. They don't all get done at the same time. So let's use just a measuring cup or just use the same spoon. But that's a neat trick to make your beautiful pancakes. And what you'll do is put the batter right in the middle so that the pancake will go out into a circle. You don't want a lopsided pancake. And there we go. Really important to watch how the skillet remains warm. What you want to have are these bubbles bubbling up all through the pancake and on the edges. Probably less than a minute, and then we'll flip it and serve it to our family.
So what starts in the field will end up being a vegetable at your steakhouse along with your steak. Maybe it's in a cake, maybe it's in a cookie. But rest assured, we're finding creative ways to use the North Carolina sweet potato. I'm Kelly McCullen for North Carolina Now. Thank you so much for watching.
Quality public television is made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.